It's
Now I
working.
can.
Okay.
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is David. I'm working at the WEkEO user support, and today I'm glad to introduce to you the WEkEO data viewer, which is a powerful tool to explore the WEkEO catalog, to visualize Earth observation products, and also to download data. So today we will explore the viewer's features, see how we can browse the catalog and download the data. Just a quick notice before we go to the data viewer. To download data, you need to have a WEkEO account, so it's free to register. So just as a reminder, you have here I am on the homepage of WEkEO at wekeo.eu. You can click on register to create an account. You just have to fill in this form and click on create a WEkEO account. So for me, I will sign in already, so I will be able to download data later. Okay, and here on the header, you have the data menu. So I click on data, and here I am on the data viewer. So basically, when you open the data viewer the first time, we have here two layers by default. One, a normalized difference vegetation index, and the second one, the seawater salinity. At the bottom, we have a timeline where we can see the two time range of the two layers that are displayed. And here at the bottom right, we have the depth level. I will show you this in a quick moment. When you are on the map, you can grab it to navigate, and you can zoom in and zoom out by scrolling. So for example, let's say I'm interested in the Europe area. I will zoom in like this. Okay, and the maybe the first important button to know is this one, the plus icon in the layers panel. It allows to open the WEkEO catalog. As you can see, we have more than 400 datasets available. Some are not visible on the map, but they are still downloadable. These datasets that are not visible uh, are showing a slashed icon here on the right of the dataset name. You can scroll up to the bottom all these products, but I would strongly advise to use the filters on the left to search for a product of interest. You can type any text here in the free text search bar, and you have different sections like the different services, Copernicus services, the platforms, the sensors here is collapsed by default. You can develop it, the area, which could be quite useful, and some tags, etc. So for example, if let's say I'm interested to see the temperature around the Iberian area, I can type temperature. Then I know that the temperature I'm looking for a product from Copernicus Marine, so I can click on Copernicus Marine here. So I have 49 datasets left. And here, let's say I'm interested in the Atlantic Iberian area. I have 2 datasets left. So this way, it's really easy to find the product of interest. Here, I will take the first one. It's the analysis and forecast physics data. I could click on select layers to directly select the variables I'm interested in. But here I will click on details just to show you. By clicking on this button, it opens this page, which is basically a description of the product. So on the top left, you have the same thumbnail of the product showing where the data is provided. Then we have the temporal and geographical extents. We have the button add to map to add to map the variables. We will do it right after. In the description, we have an abstract providing some information about what we can find in the product. And then we have several informations about the product. An important one is the dataset ID, because you could use it if you want to download the data programmatically. So you need this dataset ID. And also, if you are encountering some issues with the dataset and want to talk with us, it's a common way to share with us the dataset with which you have some issues. So this is where you can find it. And a quite recent feature is this WMS/WMTS button. It was a quite often a requested feature from users. So now we have it. Basically, you will have all these WMTS or WMS links for each dataset. So basically, it's another protocol, another service to visualize the data in another GIS tool. Okay, so now I will click on Add to Map, and here I have the all the datasets contained in this project. So because I'm interested in the temperature, I will take for example this one. Here there are the variables of these datasets, and I will select the seawater potential temperature. I click on Add to Map. I can scroll to the top and click on the cross to close this window, or I can click anywhere outside the window and it will close it. So now if I zoom out just a little bit, we still have the two default layers, and now, as you can see, I have these Iberian datasets showing the temperature. Okay. Um, Here, so the layers panel, you have all the layers that you have added and the two by default. You can show and hide a layer by clicking on this eye icon, or you can remove a layer if you are not interested in. For example, here the vegetation, I will click on this cross and it will remove it from the layers panel. If you hover the dataset name, you will see the dataset and the variable you are looking at. Then you have different information like the date and the depth and the region concerned. You have the color bar, and then we have several customization buttons. Here, as I said just before, we have the timeline. So for example, I can pick another date, like, I don't know, around April of this year. So the data will be automatically updated. If I just hide this layer one moment, just to not be confused, if I choose another depth, we will start to see the bathymetry. So sometimes it can be, we have to wait a few seconds. So here we can see at the top right, it's loading the new data. So here it's a bit slow. Okay, so now we can see the bathymetry for this layer. But let me go back to around the surface and show once again this project. Uh, so from left to right, we have this download button. I will show it just after because it's the main functionality to download data from the viewer. This I button just opens the description page we have seen just before. This layer button is quite useful because it allows to choose another variable without having to open the catalog once again and change the dataset, etc. We have here the list of the datasets. So for example, if I zoom in a bit around this zone, because it's a coastal interaction training, here we can see that I am visualizing the temperature. I could pick the velocity, for example. And if I just hide this one to be sure we are using the good one. Okay, apparently not. This morning it's a bit capricious. Yeah, okay, so we have the loading bar here. Okay, so now we are seeing the velocity of the Iberian datasets. Then we have this cog icon. We can play with the opacity. So from 100%, or if I decrease to 0, we have nothing left. We can choose another color map, but I will take the default one. And then here we have the minimum and maximum value. So for example, if I type, I don't know, 0.4, it will be more, there will be more contrast, for example. For some variables, you will have two other buttons, the log one, so basically it just converts the color bar to log scale. And then this arrow button to show the vector. So because here I have selected the velocity, This is a variable having some vectors. I mean, it's a vectorial variable. So not only with the color we have the amplitude, but now we have also the direction and the vectors. Okay, so that's it for the customization button. Let me take the temperature once again, because why not? Um, then here on the bottom right, we have several tools. So for example, the first one showing we are in the equatorial projection. If I click on it, I can choose either the polar north or polar south projection. So here I clicked on the polar north. It's a quite useful if you want to work with Arctic data. But now I will go back to the equatorial default one. Then we have the points tool. Oops, sorry. If I just zoom in a little bit, we have there's been a new feature released this week actually with this point tool. Only available for some variables. If I click on the map and place a point, if the variables can show a time series, then now we have these graphics that are automatically displayed. So we can see here at the top the temperature from the Iberian datasets, and at the bottom we have the salinity from the default layer datasets. So it's quite a nice feature to have. It's really new. Has been released this week, and it's already planned to improve this feature. I guess in the near future we will be able to zoom in and zoom out in the graphics and probably export these graphics. Okay, then we have this measure tool. Basically, it allows to measure a distance between 2 points. And an important tool to know is this set AOI for area of interest tool. So if I click on it, I can drag and place an area like this. It will be useful, for example, if I want later to download data only inside this bounding box, I will use this area, and that's why it's quite useful. But just to finish with these tools at the bottom right, we have the settings. You can hide and show the base map and the coastline reference, and also change the units. So for the length and the area, and you have the credits of the tool. Okay, now I will speak about how to download data from the viewer. So for example, um, I will click on this download button. Let's say that I'm interested in this bounding box area. I could enter manually the coordinates of an area, but I can also click on copy area from map. So that's why it's really useful. Several parameters are mandatory. They have a red asterisk, like here for the variables. So I have to choose some variables. And to show you, I picked also this dataset because here we have several variables available, and we can download several variables at once. So it's quite useful. So here, if I click on salinity and temperature, I can download these variables at once. Then I can choose the depth range. So I will just take a small one for the sake of this presentation. Same for the time range. Here we are around April of this year. I can click on copy from layer to define my time range. Then I will just pick another, just to pick one day of time range. So let's say from 25 to 20, I am in May, okay. 26 April, okay. Then a quite new feature also, if you want to know how to cite a product, you can now click here on the license. It will be different for every services. So you have the license and some example on how to cite the product. So here, if I scroll a bit down, I have several example here in bold to know how to cite the product in your project or your study, etc., in your article. Okay. I will click on request data, and I hope it will work because sometimes the server is capricious, but while it's loading, I will just click in show API request. So don't be afraid, it will be the topic of the next presentation. about the harmonized data access. But basically, it's a package allowing to download the data programmatically. We have some documentation on it, so don't hesitate to click here on this link. You will open an article from our help center, and it will show how to step by step how to use the HDA. But basically, clicking on this button allows to have the query that you can copy by clicking on this copy button, and then you can paste it in your script, your notebook, etc. So it is quite useful. I guess I have seen that my request is successful. So now I can click on this jobs tab here on the right, and I can, okay, it was not this one, but let's pretend it was this one. I can click on this button again to show what I've just seen with the API request. And most important, I can click on this folder icon to download the data. So here I have only one file because the time range and the depth range, etc., the area, all of these parameters are small. But it could happen that you have several results. If you have a lot of results, I would advise to use the HDA to download the program magically, because here, we are on the viewer, we have to click manually on order. So it will basically launch a request to the server. We have to wait a little bit, and then we will be able to click on the download icon to download the data locally on your computer. So I will do it to the end. I will wait a little bit. But yeah, okay, so now I have the download icon. If I click on it, it is downloaded on my computer. So here it was really fast because it's only 8 kilobytes. But remember that if you have a lot of results, it could happen that you have more than hundreds of results. In this case, it's easier to use the HDA to download all these files. Okay, and now, yeah, it's just for this morning and for this training, I wanted to have to add one comment about the fact that even if a dataset is not visible on the map, you can download it. And just because we are aware of an issue about a dataset used in the presentation after the next one. So, for example, if I type here digital elevation for the QGIS tutorial just right after, we are using this product. Even if it's not visible, I can click on use dataset and it will be added here. We have a sentence saying that you can still download it. So that was my first information. But I also have to do a small warning that this product today is not available. I mean, there are some issues. So don't hesitate if you want to follow along the tutorials. I don't want to overstep the next presentation, but for this specific product, don't hesitate when you are on the page of the event. You can download the data that are already available from the page event. So here I can click on download QGIS tutorial, and here we have the data folder. So I would advise to download the data this way, because for this product, it won't be working today, but we are already working on a fix. So that was just a comment for today. And now, last but not least, if you click on this button, uh, it opens the widget chat here on the bottom right. From here, you can search for help inside the articles from our help center and ask a question to us. So first, for example, you can search for help. For example, you want some information about the HDA. You have here the articles about this topic, and you can open from here this article. So for example, how to use HDI in Python, etc. If you don't find the information in the articles, you can click here on ask a question. First, we will be speaking to our AI agent Neo. Neo has a lot of knowledge, and most often he can answer to your question. But don't be afraid if he can't. You can still speak to us, the user support. You will have a button talk to human, and so you can discuss with us this way. Quite a new feature also is this news menu on the widget chat. Basically, it's showing all the news, so improvements of services and new tools on WEkEO. So for example, the last news is about this time series when you place a point on the map. You have some information and the article corresponding to this feature. So here you have several news about the services, and for example, here at the bottom, we have also news about EO Canvas that Annalena presented on Wednesday, and the article corresponding to learn more about this tool. So yeah, you to stay tuned to the WEkEO services, you can check this news option. And I think that's it for me. So thank you for your attention, and I'll be glad to answer your question.
Thank you, David, for your presentation. So we will go to the Q&A session also. But very useful tool to see and download the data. So one of the first question is, are there limits of downloading?
Actually,
of
yes.
storage.
Yes, there are some limits. You will have an article in our help center. If you type quota in the search bar of the help center, you will find the article I'm speaking about. Basically, I guess it's 100 requests by hour. So you can download quite a certain amount of data within 1 hour, but yeah, there are some quota, so every user can download the data from WEkEO. Yes.
Okay, good to know. Thanks. This question, is it possible to download data products in UTM projections?
I don't think that we can play with the time projection from the viewer directly. Basically, the data you will download will be as the producer have delivered the data sets. But honestly, I'm not really an expert on that topic. So maybe come chat with us and we will find a solution together. Because now I can't really answer this question. But from the viewer, we can't change the projection. No.
Okay. I also put the question on the side to think about this one.
Yeah.
Okay. This question asking what is the difference between the data of the WEkEO platform and MyOcean Pro viewer of the Copernicus Marine Service?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, there's no difference. WEkEO, just for a bit of context, is a platform gathering the products and datasets of different services. So all the Copernicus services plus the Sentinel data, basically. So the data from Copernicus Marine you will find on WEkEO are the same that you will find on Copernicus Marine website. So there's no difference. And the viewers on the Copernicus Marine website and WEkEO are not exactly the same, but when you download the data, it will be the same.
Yes. And you have all the extra data of the different services. So.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. This question asking if it gives current measurements or if we can have data from the future or the past, 10 years back.
So basically, it depends on the products. We have past data and present and forecast data. So for example, for the Copernicus Marine projects, they are called multi-year for the past, and analysis and forecast, the one I have taken for my presentation in the title was analysis and forecast. So if you take this kind of products, you will have some forecast. Basically, it's like, it's around 10 days of forecast. And if you want to go back 10 years back in time, you will have to take a multi-year, for the Copernicus Marine product, but you have to take a product that delivers this past data. So you can have both.
Thanks a lot. The two next question asking, so the first one asking how can I select the zone that I want to download, and the next one asking how to extract the minimal and max temperature on the dataset. Maybe you can go back to the viewer to show briefly how to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let me share my screen. So for the first question, it's what I've presented, but maybe it wasn't clear enough. But so let me close this area. Okay, I will zoom out. Why not? For example, let's say I don't know, we have this global data set, and you're interested in this area in the ocean. You click on Set AOI. You draw with your mouse a rectangular shape, and then if you go on this download the canvas, here the bounding box you can enter the coordinate manually. So here, for example, it's me typing the coordinates, but you can also just click and copy AOI from map, and here we have the coordinates of this bounding box. So this is the fastest and easiest way to download the data inside the bounding box when using the viewer. Then you can do it programmatically, but it's another method that I won't show here. It's the topic of next presentation. I hope it's clear enough now. And I already forgot the second question. It was about if we
How
can.
to extract the minimal and maximal of data here for the temperature.
Well, by extract, I mean, I guess you have to do some post-processing to the data. So you have first to download the data. And then, for example, with a package like xarray in Python, it's quite easy to extract the minimum and maximum with some function, some numpy-like function, like dot min and dot max. But from the viewer, no, I mean, we can't really see, we can see the minimum and maximum value. Here is the cog icon. These minimum and maximum values uh, are basically the minimum and maximum values. But I don't know if the question is about this because we can't extract anything here. Here is just to fine-tune the visualization, but it's not for extraction. So if you want to extract, it's doing some post-processing. If you still have question, don't hesitate to come to us in the user support chat, and we'll help you to do what you want to do.
So thanks a lot. We can go back to the question. So this one asking if the SWOT data are included in the WEkEO platform. I don't think so.
Yes, I think so because it's, if I'm not mistaken, SWOT is a Copernicus Marine product.
Are
So
the
in
data? Yeah, it's true that they can be. Yeah, it's because it was
the
launched not long
global,
ago.
yeah, I guess it's in the global product 1 and 24, and yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yes, it's a Copernicus Marine product. If it's the case, it is on WEkEO also, as I was saying before, because WEkEO is centralizing all the Copernicus services and Sentinel data. So yeah.
So this question about if we have any tutorials that allow to follow steps by step and extract the cards. So I think it's for the maps. I don't think we have WEkEO viewer tutorial, but we have tutorial with Jupyter on the Jupyter catalog of the WEkEO website. So you can find tutorial with step by step on this catalog, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really know what the user is means by cards, but we have the Jupyter catalog on WEkEO. So if you are on the homepage of WEkEO, you have the button Explore Catalog or something like this. And in the Jupyter catalog, there are a lot of notebooks, and I guess that you can find a notebook useful to you to do what you are saying. So yeah, but once again, if you don't find a tutorial according to your needs, don't hesitate to come to us, and we'll try to find this together.
And we have tutorials just after this presentation
Yeah,
also. So
yeah. Stay here in the training. Maybe it will be useful for you.
And so this last one, and then we will have to go to the next presentation. So still asking about if there are historical data from 1970 to present. does it go back to 19? I don't think so. I don't think we go that far.
Well, the thing is that we have more than 400 datasets, so and
Yeah.
I don't want to say something incorrect. I think it could be possible that it goes from some products from 1970. But honestly, I can't answer this question.
And I don't think there is a lot if there is. So
Yeah, yeah. If it exists, there will be a few. Yeah.
okay. So we'll have to stop there for the question. We will put the rest on the site for the post-event report. Don't worry.